The week ending March 26, 2025, was defined by the international break, a pause in the club football schedule that allowed national teams to take centre stage. With no major league games to report, fans turned their attention to the UEFA and CONCACAF Nations League matches held on March 23rd. The excitement was palpable as teams vied for supremacy, showcasing emerging talents and igniting transfer rumours. As the world of football buzzed with anticipation, player performances and upcoming events promised to keep the spirit of the game alive. The week of March 2026-2025 saw the soccer world in a holding pattern as the international break sidelined major leagues like the Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, and League One. This break, part of FIFA's March window, halted domestic action after the UEFA Nations League quarter-final first legs on March 20th and second legs on March 23rd, alongside CONCACAF's Nations League finals from March 20th, 23. Fans on social media lamented the lack of club football, with posts like "No EPL or La Liga this week, straight to basketball," reflecting the shift in focus. The Premier League, for instance, won't resume until April 1st, giving players a breather after grueling club schedules. The spotlight instead turned to national teams, with UEFA's quarterfinals determining June's semi-finalists and CONCACAF crowning Mexico as champions. These matches, held over the weekend, dominated headlines, leaving today, a quiet Wednesday, as a day of reflection and analysis. Smaller friendlies like Luxembourg's 1-0 upset over Sweden on March 22nd offered some action, but the break's primary purpose was to wrap up Nations League stages. For top European leagues, this pause aligns with a shift toward World Cup 2026 qualifiers starting later in 2025, while CONCACAF teams use the Nations League as a pre-Gold Cup tune-up. The absence of club games has fans eagerly awaiting April, but the international drama from the weekend keeps the soccer pulse alive. The UEFA Nations League quarterfinals, spanning March 20 to 23, delivered thrilling moments that still echo today. Germany stole the show with a 5-4 aggregate win over Italy, culminating in a 3-3 draw in Dortmund on Sunday. Kai Havertz's extra-time header, set up by a ball boy's quick throw-in, now dubbed Ball Boy MVP online, clinched it, with Julian Nagelsmann lauding his team's resilience. Portugal overturned a 1-0 deficit against Denmark, winning 5-2 in Lisbon, 5-3 aggregate, on March 23rd. Francisco Trincao's brace and Cristiano Ronaldo's goal, despite a missed penalty, showcased their firepower, setting up a semi-final clash with Germany. Spain edged the Netherlands 5-4 on penalties after a 3-3 draw, 5-5 aggregate, in Valencia, with 17-year-old Lamine Yamal's cool-headed penalty proving decisive. France rounded out the semi-finalists, beating Croatia 2-0 in Saint-Denis, 2-2 aggregate, 5-4 pens, thanks to Kylian Mbappe's brace on Sunday. The semi-finals, scheduled for June 4-5, pit Germany versus Portugal and Spain versus France, promising blockbuster matchups. Social media buzzed with reactions, from Ronaldo's "still got it" to Yamal's "a prodigy," while Germany's ball boy moment went viral. These results, reported by UEFA.com and The Guardian, highlight Europe's top teams gearing up for a competitive summer finish. The CONCACAF Nations League finals, held March 20 to 23 at SoFi Stadium, were the week's biggest story, with Mexico's 2-1 win over Panama on Sunday still dominating headlines. Raúl Jiménez scored in the 43rd minute, and a 92nd minute penalty after José Cordoba's handball, securing Mexico's first title, per Yahoo Sports. The victory, celebrated with Viva Mexico chants online, came amid controversy over anti-gay chants delaying the match, a persistent issue noted by ESPN. Coach Javier Aguirre called it a momentum boost for the 2026 World Cup, though critics argue it wasn't dominant enough to reclaim CONCACAF supremacy. Canada's 2-1 upset over the USC in the third-place game on March 23rd added drama. Tani Oluwasei and Jonathan Osorio outshone Patrick Agyemang's equalizer, leaving Mauricio Pochettino's US side reeling after a 1-0 semi-final loss to Panama on March 20th. The Guardian reported sparse crowds, SoFi was 9/10 empty, underscoring US fan disinterest, with social media slamming the team's mentality crisis. Pochettino told AP News there's time to fix issues before the 2025 Gold Cup. But the double loss has intensified scrutiny on the 2026 co-hosts. Mexico's triumph and the US's struggles define CONCACAF's current landscape. With no league action this week, transfer rumours have taken centre stage. Manchester United are reportedly prepping a 60 minutes bid for PSG's Nuno Mendes, whose Nations League form impressed, per Sky Sports. Liverpool, Arsenal and Tottenham are locked in a race for Bayern Munich's Leroy Sané, 40 minutes, whose contract talks have stalled, while Real Madrid eye Erling Haaland 150 minutes after his quiet Norway outings, per The Athletic. Chelsea are targeting Lile's Jonathan David, 30 minutes, to address their striker woes, with his 15 League One goals this season drawing interest. Barcelona's financial pressures fuels speculation around Frenkie de Jong, 50 millimeters, linked to United and Bayern, while social media buzzes with talk of Cristiano Ronaldo eyeing a 2026 MLS move, potentially reuniting with Messi at Inter Miami. These rumours, amplified by the break, reflect clubs planning for summer windows, with Mendes and Sané trending online for their recent performances. The Athletic notes Haaland's release clause as a key factor, while David's affordability makes him a hot commodity. The transfer mill is spinning, keeping fans engaged despite the quiet week. The week's standout players from Nations League action are stealing the spotlight. Mexico's Raúl Jiménez, 33, reborn with a brace versus Panama, including a clutch 92nd minute penalty, earned Clutch King praise online, per Yahoo Sports. Germany's Jamal Musiala dazzled versus Italy, his goal and assist marking him as a Ballon d'Or contender, per ESPN. Spain's Lamine Yamal, just 17, shone with a penalty in the Netherlands shootout, with UEFA.com calling him fearless, a prodigy on the rise. Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo, despite a missed penalty, scored versus Denmark, keeping him in headlines for brilliance and blunders, per The Guardian. Canada's Tani Oluwasei stepped up versus the US, his 27th minute goal, highlighting his potential, while the USMNT's Patrick Agyemang offered a rare bright spot with his equalizer, per CBS Sports. These performances, from veterans like Jimenez and Ronaldo to youngsters like Yamal and Oluwasei, define the week's narrative, with social media amplifying their impact as fans debate their legacies and futures. With the international break ongoing, the soccer world looks to the horizon. Club football returns soon. Premier League on April 1st, La Liga on April 2nd, bringing relief after this quiet week. For national teams, UEFA's World Cup 2026 qualifiers start in earnest in June for non-Nations League playoff teams. Per UEFA.com, while CONCACAF's next big test is the Gold Cup, kicking off June 14th at SoFi Stadium, per AP News. The Gold Cup will be pivotal for the USMNT to rebound and for Mexico to build on their Nations League win. The 2025 FIFA Club World Cup, June 15th, July 13th in the US, looms large, featuring Manchester City, Chelsea and Inter Miami, per Sky Sports. World Cup qualifying heats up later in 2025, with Japan, already qualified, and Iran close, per Sporting News. Social media anticipates summer showdowns, with the US, Canada, and Mexico under pressure as 2026 co-hosts. Today's calm belies a packed future, with the Nations League setting the stage for a thrilling year ahead.